welcome to another episode of FIA Podcast. Today we have with us a very interesting guest, Apurva Mankad, who's the owner of WebXpress and LogiCloud. Apurva, tell us a little bit of what you do.
So we are a software company. We provide technology to logistics companies using cloud technology today. We are a software as a services company, which effectively means that multiple of our customers can use technology and benefit from the same. We help them solve problems like tracking the shipment, booking a particular cargo, bidding for a particular RFQ from a customer, or submitting an invoice. The day-to-day task that a logistics company does is taken care of by our technology. Of course, we try to bring more and more advanced things so that they can do their work much more productively.
So, in a easy way, you make life easy
That's our
for
job.
people in the logistics. Interesting. And do you use AI in your work?
Absolutely. In fact, if you are not using AI, then you are already out of the contention today. So today we use AI in many different ways, especially for our programmers. One of the big benefit of AI to our programmers has been to help them out much faster. Otherwise, they were waiting for senior people to help them, for example, or they would make mistakes which will be corrected at a much later stage into our software. With the help of AI, you are able to solve many of these problems much more faster. They can take assistance. In fact, we encourage them to take assistance of AI all the time so that they do a good job in a much faster way, thereby improving our organization's overall product to the customer and, of course, profitability.
Now, that's an interesting aspect. Would it be appropriate for me to use the word that AI is empowering your employees to become better?
Well, it should, and we that is how we try to explain to them that he's not your competition, he's empowering you. Because a lot of people who are coming from the earlier era, and most of us are, and now encountering AI, are sometimes afraid of it. And they sometimes feel that this might take my job away. For example, it's a very real fear of an employee who's 24 or 25-year-old who's doing some work for 5 years, and suddenly there is AI so smart that he wonders that will I be required? So it's an empowering tool, as you rightly said. But that is something which is now slowly but surely the community is understanding. Absolutely an empowering tool. Imagine till yesterday you had to wait for a boss who is 5 years senior to you and he is not giving you enough time, he's not giving you enough power. You are at his mercy. You're not empowered, right? You're waiting. Now you have a tool called AI. You simply ask him like a friend and it gives you a fantastic answer. You're absolutely empowered.
But would there be issues related to ethics? Like, I'm going to bypass my reporting manager because I have got my answer from the AI. How do you see the role of ethics in a wider context in such roles?
It's an extremely important point in a specific context as well. Something as simple as employee-employer relationship or junior-senior relationship. Uh, while a junior can definitely become way more, let's say, productive and empowered as we use the word, it is still an organization structure which he has to follow. He can also probably use AI today to pass on a lot many more secrets of the organization outside for a benefit that becomes much more easier with AI than what was earlier. We could block the software into various servers, not give access to you, kind of make your life more difficult because if you had any wrong intentions, for example. Today with AI coming in, that's becoming more questionable. So that's at a specific context of, our organization, I'll say, or a software company per se. In the larger context, absolutely, there are wider questions about how AI will, deal with many situations which are general purpose, affecting a larger audience, for example, right? And there are not many answers very clear today. That work is still in progress.
No, but you mentioned a very interesting point on employer-employee relationship. In fact, I don't think this point has come up in any FIA podcast
Right.
earlier. So I would love to have some more elaboration on this so that our viewers also understand how does ethics come in over here.
See, absolutely. See, if I'm an employer, I run a company, right? I have a set of people who are working for me, right? And I will not only say employer, employee, senior, junior as well, because there is a hierarchical, organization anywhere in the world, large or small per se. And here comes in AI. First ethical question for employer is it right for me to sack an employee because I have an AI agent doing his work? Because the employee put in so many years of work, effort, blood and sweat into the organization, surely for a benefit of getting a salary per se, no doubt about it, but he contributed. And now you got an AI, you obviously find it much more attractive. It's almost like finding a new girlfriend and ditching the last one just because this one is much more beautiful and ask less questions. So it's an ethical question absolutely for an employer, and it's going to happen in a bigger way in days to come. You are a large software company running 4 lakh people. here comes AI, and suddenly you realize that you no longer need, let's say, 2 lakh people. Are you going to sack them en masse? That's going to be an ethical question for employer per se. From an employee perspective, when he is dealing with AI, as I mentioned, one of the question will be about intellectual property. There is a dilemma. What I'm building with the help of AI, is it intellectual property of AI, of the organization, mine, whose? Can I just walk out with the knowledge that I generated with the help of the data of the organization along with the AI, and I created something smart? Can I simply moonlight and start giving it to a competing or a larger company, or maybe a different company in a different part of the world, because I can get more benefit? These questions will come for the employee also to answer. And these dynamics are going to evolve as we go ahead more into the world of AI in a specific. See, till now, AI was more out there, helping you to make a document, maybe an assignment, not really a very fundamentally alteration of relationship of employee-employer organization. Here onwards, 25 onwards, this is going to come into play very much in a very acute way.
No, I like the point of IPR also that you bring, and brings in an added dimension to already the concerns that we are seeing where ethics in AI is. And, there's not much of regulatory framework that exists at the moment. But do you have any specific example to share with the viewers where you have witnessed an ethical issue and something that really went wrong where ethics were not part of what work should have been done?
See, generically speaking, since I've been running the organization for a good amount of time, we have had instance of past employees, going away with not just the knowledge, which is absolutely their brain and their property, but even walking away with the actual, software code sometimes, or the snippets of it, which then they kind of used in a next organization who became a competing organization. So that has been around for ages in any organization for so many years. If you are, for example, in Pepsi Cola, you're not supposed to drink thumbs up. You're not supposed to drink Coca Cola, right? Those kind of things have been around. But with AI, these things become more acute, because I can simply argue that, what, you as an organization also are not owning it. How are you going to prove the ownership in a court of law? Right? That's a question we have luckily not faced till now. I'm pretty sure some organizations already face that. Maybe they will not talk about it so easily per se. It's a great field for lawyers. It's a field day for them. How are you going to solve that dilemma? Employee comes and says, this is not intellectual property theft.
No, Apurva, you mentioned two things which really made my ears perk up. One was the whole employer-employee relationship, and the other was the IPR, and both have pieces of ethics weaved in. I would really love for our audience to hear from you of an example where you saw that something went wrong because ethically it was not done the way it should have been.
So, as I'm running the organization for quite a number of years, I have personally come across within my organization issues of ethics where an employee has learned a lot of knowledge from our company and gone to the counter organization. That is okay. Your brain is your right. But many a times people have taken software code from our organization and built part of the products which then they are selling against us in the market. And I believe that has been the case for so many software companies in the world in the past. Now, with AI coming in, we fear that this is going to become even more acute, and the employee might even question saying that this code doesn't even belong to you because AI generated that code for me and you only asked me to use AI to generate the code. Then where is the question of IPR belonging to you? I took what is belonging to the ether and took it to the ether. Now sue me. It's going to be a great day for lawyers to really, work at this in coming days.
Wow, so the lawyers are going to earn much more. So my, FIA was born out of a whole passion and the need to drive awareness because we don't see much regulatory frameworks in ethics in AI. For a community like us, which is really a, conglomeration of think tank leaders in this, any thoughts that you can add on to how do we take this up further?
Get a few lawyers on board
Okay.
to start with, because to be frank, end of the day, when you say framework, it is legal framework first of all. See, one is the ethical framework in terms of the culture we understand as humans, what we cannot do, but there are no written boundaries other than Mahabharata and Ramayana. So you will need laws, and unfortunately most of the world is lagging behind in this particular area. While the wider law of the land may or may not come in as and when it comes, I'm pretty sure use cases can come much faster. right? And use cases or what builds the court's judgments, for example. You gave me this example. Let somebody bring in a case like this, it suddenly becomes a case study, right? And then courts go by precedents, as we all know. And this is a world much more understood by lawyers. I know some of these terms. My father happens to be a lawyer, so probably I
Okay.
have some idea of some of these terms. So I think definitely one suggestion I can make is that. The second suggestion I can make is, probably bring in companies who are directly affected by AI theft much more, and IPR-driven companies like software being the prime example would be great. I'm sure some of the software leaders have great thoughts already on the same, and they can surely add a lot of value to what you do.
I think your presence has added a lot of value to us at FIA. And thank you so much for joining us and wish you good luck.
Thanks a lot. Thanks for inviting me.